Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to end of day update. Today was a day to take profits two times, double profit day. You can see yesterday, end of day, I was telling you we were here. We were near second standard deviation. You can go check my video. I was telling you guys we need to buy here. It's very rare when we are in this third standard deviation line. This is NASDAQ 100. And we bought here end of day. And then today, from there, we got 1.67%. I told my subscribers as soon as we reach this neutral line, look to take profits. And they took profits, and look what happened after that. Fed Jerome Powell talked and we dumped again, we bought again in this buy zone, green buy zone, and look what happened from here to the end of day, another 1.92%. So more than 3.5% profit in one day, just listening to and checking my lines here, which I was providing day updates to my subscriber in the morning, in the afternoon. Easy trades, 3% trading profit in just one day. These are so easy trades. All you had to buy was triple Q's, Nasdaq ETF, or any of the tech stocks which I was sharing. I was sharing all the tech sectors. Apple touched buy zone and then bounced. You can see Microsoft touched buy zone and bounce. I told everybody Snowflakes touched buy zone and bounce. And you can see even NVDA, it was down here in the buy zone and then bounce. You can see how easy it is to make profits. And if you want to know about these updates in the morning, in the afternoon, and I also have a Discord group, link is in the description of this video. It's free to join Discord group. I will provide once a day update, but if you want to get more often updates about these zones, join YouTube channel. It's only like $7 a month, very cheap. In one trade update like today, you can make more than double, triple for the subscription fee. Okay, it's like very cheap, and if you don't like it, just cancel next month. So there are no commitments or any holding bars. Okay, all right, so where we go now? So we closed Nasdaq right in the middle, which is neutral zone, and US 500, S&P 500 right in the middle. Same thing here. You can see very nicely. Even this morning, yesterday's close to this morning, we had pump of 1%. Then we sold, and again it dumped to again buy zone. From buy zone again 1.4%. Easy 3% profits even on S&P 500. Okay, so we closed on the neutral zone. What that means, there's no advantage to bulls and bears. And let's review these levels. Maybe end of the day, I will show you these levels. If you stay towards the end of the video, I will give you what I think is going to happen next week. So let's review it. But let's go with weekly analysis of NDX, and let's see where we ended. And you can see right now what's happening here. Again, I showed you this yesterday as well. You can see these green line and red line. This is where we go, we gather energy and we bounce. This is weekly chart of NASDAQ. This is tech sector. Every time, so we are in a bull market. My opinion is we are in a bull market and we need to buy all the dips. Just remember the risk you are taking. As of now, you can see every time we are going away from this green line, we come back to touch this green line at minimum. I can show you. Let's say this is the bull market. You can see every time we go higher, we come back to touch this green line at minimum. Sometimes we go lower, closer to red line, and then bounce. But at minimum, we touch this green line and then bounce to get. This is the energy spot. Okay, this is like, maybe you can take it like you're going on a long trip. You have to come back to refill your car or recharge. Okay, so this is recharge, bounce, recharge, bounce, recharge your car, bounce, recharge, bounce, again recharge, bounce. And look what happened today or last week. We came back on a long trip. We came back to recharge. Now, we can go worst case as low as this red line, but we are not going below that. So that red line is around 13,951. So your risk here, if you buy today, your risk from today's close to that bottom line is around 6%. Okay, so just be mindful of that. But look at the long-term scenario. If you can hold till the end of this year, we will be here. We will be crossing this previous high. So your benefit from today's close, we will be above previous all-time high. So that's more than 12% away. So you want to take a risk of going 6% lower for a benefit of 12%. I think that's more than double. So that's like 1:2 ratio. So there's no brainer in my opinion. So no matter how we go, no matter next week or October, no matter how much lower we go, but we will be here to gather energy, or this might be it. this might be, this is the only dip we get, and from tomorrow, from next week onwards, we are just going higher. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show you in the longer term picture, so that you all are on the same page and we are going. And although I have these daily analysis on short term which I share with my subscribers, but long term, just remember, we are going higher. Okay, and this is let's quickly look at triple Qs and see how things are going around. You can see, let me hide these lines. You can see what happened. Let's go to 1 hour chart. You can see what happened, and I have to get regular trading hours so it's cleaner. You can see this followed my cursor, these two lines. This was bullish falling wedge, and you can see what happened. We got a breakdown here. This was a bear trap, and again recover right away. Then we back tested this once, broke out again today, back tested this, and we got support again here, and now we are bouncing. All right, and nothing else changed. That's it. So I think we're going higher from here. There is a gap here. You can see this big gap here, and there's also this resistance trend line. If I go to daily chart, you can see here, you can see this whole resistance area. So we got sell off yesterday here, and today we are trying to recover, and also we are back on this trend line. You can see yesterday I was telling you, you don't sell on support. Okay, you buy on support. So you can see yesterday we had a sell off day, and we closed right on this support. This big engulfing candles closed right on support, and today we had a bear trap, went way below this line, and then recovered, and we closed 0.78% green on Nasdaq. Okay, so this is very bullish, and I will show you later on all tech stocks. They are holding the trend line very nicely. They dip below, and now they're holding a trend line. So from here, earnings are good. NVDA earnings is great, and I think we are very close to the bottom, and I think we're just going higher to new all-time highs, and that's my expectation, and that's what we'll be going through. Okay, and S&P 500 SPY, you can see what's happening. Let's bring in moving averages, and to get some more view of here, let's quickly you can see what's happening here. It's finding resistance on this yellow line, which is 50 EMA line. So you can see what happened. Let me get rid of this. You can see yesterday we had a bump, and then it got sold off from this 50 red SMA line, and now it's finding resistance on 50 EMA line. This is daily line. So you can see this could be a lower low. So we're trying to maybe start a new uptrend. So you can see we had a rejection high, and this held previous low. You can see here it held, it did not go below this low. So we are trying to make a new uptrend. So now we want to, there's another gap here around 446, and there's another massive gap here. So we want to go higher to close above this gap. So that will be another higher uptrend. So we are looking at around 3.7% upside from here. Triple Qs, there are two gaps here on 1 hour chart. From here, I'm looking for those two gaps to fill around 6% upside. All right, so everything is looking good, and in my opinion, this is time. All dips you get, look to buy. And yeah, I think this is it. You can see what's happening on Dow Jones. You can see we had a dip. Now it made good recovery, around 0.72% massive recovery on Dow Jones. And you can see what was happening. You can see new lows on higher momentum on PPO and RSI. If I draw this line here, you can see this is PPO, and you can see RSI. It made a higher low, and we had a new prices going lower with higher momentum, and that means an uptrend is about to come. Prices going lower, and this is a divergence. Okay, so now Dow Jones is looking very good. Now it has to close above on 1 hour chart of where it closed. It's finding support on this 20 EMA. It needs to go above that, this red line, and also this 340. I think this is around 344.6. This is what I want to see Dow Jones to recover, and then we'll probably be on the path of this green line. IWM, again recovery. You can see this dark blue line is 200 EMA, and you can see this 200 SMA, and you can see it found support here. So it's still consolidating, finding support over both. This light blue is 200 EMA, dark blue is 200 SMA, finding support right above that. Very good close, and I think we're getting ready to go higher. Let's look at other sectors. Gold, and gold, you can see if I go to 1 hour chart, let me hide these lines so it's a bit clear for you. You can see very nicely gold was going lower with higher momentum on PP on the other side. We had a breakout of this trend line, broke out, back tested, then now we're consolidating, and the good thing is now we're forming another uptrend. So what we're gonna do, For gold, we're going to have another trend line. We can see very nicely this is a trend line gold wants to follow. So now we're getting to a new trend line on gold. Okay, so we're going to get rid of this trend line. We don't need this anymore. And you can see gold is now forming another trend line, small trend line on a lower time frame. So we're just going to see if gold can hold this trend line. All right, so there's some resistance here around 1950s, but let's see if we can close above that. I think it's possible. This is just a speculation. We might make some go here, maybe come back later and then go higher. Okay, this is just a speculation for now, but this is what I'm thinking. And silver is by the dip. You can see the dips were bought, and silver is looking very bullish. You can see support, 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 and getting ready for a bounce. And natural gas is also holding this trend line very nicely. It broke below this trend line 2 days ago and recovered very nicely. If I go to 1 hour chart, you can see here we draw this trend line. It was going lower on higher momentum on PP and RSI, and we drew this trend line, and today we broke out, back tested this. You can see very nicely we back tested this, and then now we are heading higher again. All right, so we came back once, came back two, now we're going higher, made a new high compared to this previous high. So it's very good. We're starting a new uptrend, and things are looking very good for natural gas. Crude oil also looking very nice. So you can see came down here. It's by the dip, so it's starting to form a new uptrend. So look to buy all the dips on crude oil. So nothing changed. Dollar right in the resistance box. This is a whole resistance area. You can see it could not make a new high. You can see this high here. It's still not able to make a high. This is where I'm looking for dollar to sell off and then go to our near support zone here. Which if the dollar starts to sell off here, it's gonna be very bullish for gold, Bitcoin, and all tech stocks. Okay, Bitcoin holding support. You can see I drew a new support line here, right where it's holding. This is the support area. You should be looking to buy. This is holding it very nicely here. Ethereum, same thing. This is a support line. It's holding, and also I drew a new trend line here. So right on the trend line and holding it nicely. So look to buy, consolidating here. And let's quickly look at commodities. Copper, right by the dip. Okay, nothing changed here. If it comes back to this zone around 3.7, look to buy. Palladium again in the buy zone. You can see we were in bullish falling wedge with higher momentum on PP and RSI, broke out, back to demand here, broke out, demand here, and again coming back to demand. So this is the area where you want to buy palladium. Wheat also same thing, bullish falling wedge, higher momentum, broke out, back tested, broke out, back tested, and this is again right in the demand area. This is where you want to buy wheat. Corn again consolidating. It really needs to close above this line around 5.1 to be bullish again, but so far you can see new lows on higher momentum on PP and RSI, so that's telling me we're ready for a pump. Soybeans jumping from this demand area, which is very good news. Anytime it comes below 1408, look to buy. Sugar looking bullish, right on the resistance here. Okay, you can see holding nice trend line, support, 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 right on the trend line. I really want sugar to break above this to be bullish again, but this is where we could see another dip on this trend line and then go away. But I would like to see a momentum picking up. All right, let's quickly look at bonds. Bonds weak again, but right on the support area. This is where you want to buy bonds. A lot of demand area. Okay, TLT. This is where you should be looking to buy TLT. Toronto Stock Exchange just consolidating multiple gaps. So if you go to 1 hour chart, multiple gaps, these will be filled. So eventually you should be looking to buy Toronto banks or all Toronto tech stocks if you're interested in Toronto sectors, or around 3.5% upside still there. Hang Seng Index. Basically, let's quickly go to 1 hour chart, see if we find something. It broke this trend line, which is not good. So again, so I'm going to get rid of this. You can see what was happening here. It was going lower like gold, on higher momentum, broke out, and now it's again going down. So we have to wait for a reversal, but right now I don't see any reversal. So we have to draw another trend line like this for Hang Seng to be bullish again. Wait for this to be break to get bullish again on this. All right. Let's keep moving to other sectors. Let's quickly start with the gold miners. The biggest gold miner, Newmont Mine, right in the demand area, down almost 2%. This is where you want to buy. You can see right near 52 weeks low. Also, dividends are coming very soon, 0.4%. I think this is healthy dividend next. I think September 6th. But it's in the demand area. Gold miners down 1%, but there was a gap which is still not closed. You can see 1 hour chart. We had a gap up on Tuesday. Wednesday morning, and it came very close to fill this gap, but I think it can come lower again to fill this gap before going higher. So what I'm expecting is from here, gold minus a little bit more lower, fully complete this gap, and then go high to fill all these gaps. So it's going to be high, low. Maybe we are getting ready to start a new uptrend. Tech stocks, Apple looking very bullish, 1.26% upside, very nice trade. There was this gap which was created on Wednesday, came back yesterday to fill this gap and now bouncing. So I think Apple is looking good. I'm looking for these upside targets. There's a massive gap, earnings gap here. So from today's close, that gap is around 7% up. There's another gap around 9%, 9.5% up. Okay, so Apple is looking good. Tesla, very nice. You can see support, came back. This was a bear trap, and then next couple of days we were just consolidating. Yesterday we had a breakdown. I said this is not an impulsive breakdown, so I'm not interested in shorting Tesla, but do not be a bear here. And today we recovered again. Okay, so very nicely recovered, and we are back on this trend line. There are all these yellow lines are the gaps to fill. Earnings gap is here. So from today's close, we can even go as high as 21-22% to fill this gap. So be mindful of that. And Microsoft, you can see yesterday big rejection from this trend line, and today also consolidating. So could it be high, low before we go higher? That's what I will be watching. I'll be watching for a recovery on Microsoft to go back on this trend line. Also, there are multiple couple of gaps. Also, there's a bigger gap here. I don't know when that will be filled, but looks like Microsoft is ready to fill this gap. Google very nicely holding this trend line. Support here, support here, support here, and another support here. Looking very nice on going higher on a divergence. That's the thing which is bothering me, but if it keeps going higher, this divergence will be burned through. Okay, so don't be too bearish just for the sake of divergence. Meta, good recovery. It was down almost 3.5-4%, and then it recovered. This is like could be a reversal candle. We'll see next week if that happens. From here, there's a gap here. Let's see if it goes to fill that gap. Amazon, right, you can see it was on this trend line, broke down yesterday. I really want Amazon to recover. So far, it's still not recovered yet. We really want Amazon to pick up. And although there's another gap here, this 1 hour gap, from earnings gap, I think still not covered. So maybe it will come back, fill this gap, and then bounce. I don't know. Let's see. Let's go to 1 hour chart and see this gap. Actually, this gap is closed, so I need to delete this. I forgot to delete this. No, there's another gap here. So anyhow, so yeah, let's see if Amazon wants to come down. It looks like this is what it wants to do. So if you get some weakness on Monday on Amazon, look to buy. Maybe it will fill this gap and then go higher. We'll see how it goes. All right. Netflix up 2%. You can see it nicely holding this trend line. You can see most of the tech stocks are holding trend line. We had a big sell-off yesterday, and then we recovered again, holding this trend line nicely. Snowflake's up 3%. You can see again same thing, big rejection after earnings. Now trying to make a higher low. If it can break above this, now there are no gaps to the downside. I think on the 1 hour chart, let's quickly look at this gap. I marked it. We do have a little bit of gap here, so let's see if it wants to go all the way down to fill this gap, or if it's ready to fill our upper gap. I think most likely we're ready to fill up upper gaps as of now. NVDA, the multiple gaps to the downside, down 2.3%. At one point was down more than 5%, I think 4.5%. So let's see, I'm not sure yet right now. The only issue is there's divergence on PPO and RSI. That's telling me we could go lower to fill this gap, but earnings are good. Anything is possible. So if it keeps pumping higher, we could go away from this divergence. And also green line is above red line, so don't be too bearish here. AMD, I'm looking for it to be massive sell-off yesterday, almost 7% down. I want AMD to recover this trend line to be bullish again. For now, I'm neutral on this. There's some support here you can see on AMD. If you want to draw a box here, you can see there's some support here, right where AMD is right now. You can see this whole area. So this is the area of support. So maybe it's just you can see if I extend this here. This is the area of support. So let's see if AMD can bounce from here. And let's see if there's anything else. Let's look at sectors, which is XLK tech sector, looking for a bounce going higher. XLE, buy the dip. Any dips, look to buy energy. Healthcare, looks like there was a gap which was filled down. So I think it's getting ready to go higher. XLU recovering now, still below this trend line. So I think it's time to buy utilities, and it's going to eventually recover this trend line. If you want to wait to be bullish, you can wait for this close above this trend line, but you will miss this pump. All right. XLI getting ready for a pump to new highs. XLRE real estate looking nice. You can see again holding this trend line, support, and now looking for a pump. XLF financials, you can see there was this another trend line, and let's see if we can make another trend line. Let's see if this is possible. I don't see anything. I don't want to force a trend line, but let's see if we can make something like this on financials. Not a clean trend line for now, but there are 3 support here, and then there's 1 support here, 1 support here. We'll go with this. So I'm going to get rid of this previous trend line. Let's see if we can hold this trend line. All right, on financials. KRE regional bank ETF very close to this gap here, still not filled. So I'm looking for a little bit more weakness. So I'm going to delete this. Let's draw a new line here. Looking for a little bit more weakness to come down, fill this gap, and then go higher. All right. This is what I'm expecting. Shopify, a lot of people are interested. There's a massive gap here. I'm like neutral on Shopify. There's massive gap. Let's see if it wants to go fill this gap before we go higher. I'm not really sure on Shopify, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, let's quickly look at the zones for Monday. And if you're still here while I'm doing this, please hit the like button. I would really appreciate that, and share with your friends and family. That will be very helpful. All right, so S&P 500 zones are actually, let's quickly look at VIX before I go too far ahead. Let's go to daily chart, and you can see VIX exactly what I'm expecting. There is a gap here around 14.31, looking for this gap to fill before we go higher. Cycle low is coming here. That will put some more pressure. So if VIX goes down, that's going to be very bullish for S&P 500. All right, so now we are done with that. So now let's go to zones. US 500 in the neutral zone, which is S&P 500. So yeah, you can look at this level. If it's here in the morning, 44.31, it could come down. So look to sell here, look to buy here. Nasdaq is also in the neutral zone. Dow Jones is near neutral zone. Russell 2000 is also in the neutral zone. Triple Qs, let me get extended hour back. You can see right close in the middle of neutral zone. 368 possible, 371 possible, and if it falls below 360, look to buy it. Gold in the middle neutral zone. Most of the stocks close near neutral zone. Silver neutral zone. Natural gas near sell zone, so look to take profits here. Crude oil, you can see bounce very nicely from the buy zone, now near sell zone. Natural gas also did the same thing, came closer to buy zone and then bounced. And dollar is still near, very good news that dollar is still near sell zone. That means there's possibility next week we can come down to buy zone, and that will be very bullish for gold and stock market. Bitcoin just bouncing. If it falls below 25,913, look to buy again. Now, right now, as of this recording, near neutral zone. Ethereum is also near neutral zone. If it falls below 1639, look to buy. And I think most of the stocks are near neutral or above zone, so there's not a lot. Tesla is near sell zone, Microsoft is near neutral zone, Google is near neutral zone, Meta is near neutral zone, Amazon bouncing also near neutral zone, Netflix in the neutral zone, Snowflakes also in neutral zone, NVDA closer to buy zone. If it falls below 454.5, look to buy. AMD is also near buy zone. If it falls below 100.87, look to buy. Toronto Stock Exchange in the neutral zone, Hang Seng Index in the neutral zone as well. Let's look at commodities. Copper near neutral zone, palladium near neutral zone, wheat is in the buy zone. I think only wheat is in the buy zone, everything else is near neutral zone or in the sell zone. So yeah, you can see soybean, sugar, everything. Sugar is in the sell zone. So yeah, so just look to buy wheat. Newmont Mine near buy zone, below 38.14, look to buy. Gold miners near neutral zone. And let's see if there are any stocks which are sold. KRE still above neutral zone. There's a gap here on 42.41. Look to buy below 43.26. Let's look at any of the red stocks. Uber 43.6 and below, look to buy. Verizon near neutral zone. So I think most of the stocks were green, so there's not a lot. Baidu near sell zone. MCHI closed flat near neutral zone. Let's look at banks. BMO in the, so Canadian banks are in the buy zone. Royal Bank in the buy zone. TD again in the buy zone. BNS just bouncing from the buy zone. CM in the neutral zone. National Bank is in the buy zone. JP Morgan, American Banks is in the neutral zone. Citigroup is in the neutral zone, Goldman Sachs neutral zone, Bank of America is also in the neutral zone. Let's look at any of the growth stocks. You can see all of them are pumping. Nikola was pumping from the buy zone, SE near neutral zone. So Target is in the buy zone, that's good, and Zoom is also in the neutral zone. Okay guys, that's it. And again, yeah, if you like this content, if you want to know these levels, join the Discord, join my YouTube channel, and I wish you all a great weekend. Bye.